Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
Steve was just showing me a funny video that we'll have to figure out how to get on because it was hilarious. It was just everything Trump was saying and Biden repeating it. That's hilarious. How you doing, Steve?
Pretty good. I got tore up by mosquitoes this morning because I had to manually water basically outside, even though I have a automatic sprinkler head. The water pressure was not high enough to keep it turning. So I had to sit there and turn it and get it past a certain point.
Oh, I know a guy that could fix that for you.
Who's that?
Me.
Tighten my hoses up? I mean, I don't know. Granted, it's, 150?
Yeah, but it's downhill.
Feet? Yeah, I know.
That sucker should be gravity feeding out.
Yeah, I found a couple, like it was leaking where it plugs in or screws in directly into the sprinkler head. So I pinched it off, unscrewed it, tightened it back up. I don't know. I got it from Runnings because it said it would reach up to 100 feet. And last year I had less than 100 feet, and I thought I could run it in a full circle, and it probably went like 45 feet.
Nothing's ever as advertised.
Nothing is ever as advertised. Made in China. China, or however you say it.
So went to Car Nuts last night.
It was pretty good.
It was.
Some fresh cars there. There were some repeaters, but it looked like there was a new crop of cars there.
So, I'll edit that video together at some point here this week probably. And but I have to apologize because I went, got a wireless mic, so the girls went down again and actually brought their friend Riley with them and gonna interview people, which they did. They interviewed I think 6 people, but I think one was me. So, but we get down there and the mic won't sync, and that was because yesterday during the show I was charging the actual mic, but I didn't realize that the receiver had to be charged too. I thought it worked off the battery power of the camera, and so just before I come up to pick you up, and I was like, oh, grab this stuff, and I was like, oh crap. So I charged it for like 15 minutes, but apparently it wasn't good enough. So we'll on the 25th we'll have a wireless mic anyways. We'll have to play with that.
Walk around the yard here and interview JJ or something.
We look so professional there. Or you're on your phone YouTubing it. I'm trying to figure out how to use it.
I know. People are like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, Jeff Gessler come over and he was down checking the cars out, and he's like, what are you guys doing? Well,
like you came to the car show to hop on your phone, and
yeah.
And we were both intensely involved with not paying attention to the car show.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out how to get the stupid thing to sync, and apparently it's supposed to do it by itself, but it wasn't charged enough, or I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I like
let
those
us down
car
again.
shows. Did I ever tell you this? Because my parents loved the movie Grease.
Yeah.
Because it reminds them of their childhood.
Yeah.
My dad was, he's a little bit older than my mom, so the 50s, late 50s were his time to, I don't know, in high school. And anyway, I got to take a few pictures last night, send it to them. They didn't respond to the actual pictures I sent, so hopefully my mom and dad liked the cars.
Well, depending on how
the old days.
Depending how good of a job the girls did, you might have to give me those pictures so I can put that in the video too.
Okay.
I just kind of sent them out on their own, and
yeah, you didn't have them follow you this time. You gave them some freedom.
A lot of freedom.
Creative license.
We tried to figure out the mic thing. That failed. So me and you sent them off. We walked around for a quick minute, went over and got a cheeseburger.
Apparently they did film us sitting there.
Yeah, apparently.
Eating.
There's video of us eating a burger. Yeah, Steve didn't have any cash again last night.
Classic Steve.
Yeah, and notice that. It's very classic. Oh, crap. We're going to get food? It's so funny. Nikki took all my money.
She does it every time right before we go somewhere.
With me.
Yes.
No,
well, remember the other day I was like, hey, I got whatever. And you're like, I don't know what that means. And I was like, oh, I actually have cash.
Oh, we went to the Red Sox game. Like, I got $50. I'm like, okay.
You're
and
like, that doesn't even pay for parking.
I know. That was way expensive. That was...
I'm pretty sure that guy did not even work there, that he just...
Hey, they didn't tow the car at least.
That they did not.
What was it? $80?
It was like $8.70, and then he gave you like $40 back.
Yeah, and I gave him a $100 bill, so it was like, oh, it wasn't.
That's what. Whenever that happened, I was like, yeah, this must just be some clown who knows that people try to park here for $60.
They didn't tow it though.
Did not tow it.
Yeah, we'll find out going back on Monday.
For your birthday?
Yeah, taking Alicia and Andrea, and hopefully it'll be a good game. Hopefully it'll be
Who are they
nice.
playing?
Tigers,
You
Detroit.
get like a bobblehead or something, right? Or no?
Yeah,
What was
I
it?
think it was
It
one
was
of them.
something. Remember? Because
Yeah, because
we had talked about it.
I thought the day we went it was supposed to be, but it was the next day or something, and they actually had a good West Coast swing. They won, what was it, 8 games, lost 2 or something. They got the majority in all the 3 series or something they played or whatever. But and then I saw the Celtics lost last night, so now it's 3-2 Golden State, so they have to win the next 2 or it's game over.
I'm not a fan of Golden State. They whipped up on the Rockets.
I'm not a real basketball fan. I just talk about Celtics because it's.
I stopped
finals.
watching basketball. I mean, whenever I graduated from high school, my buddy and I took some of our graduation money and went and bought playoff tickets for the Rockets versus the Suns, and we whipped Barkley's rear end, and it was one of the biggest comebacks. I think they were up 3-1 in the series, and I think we saw game 5 or 6. But we spent a lot of our graduation money to sit up in the nosebleeds. Like, I loved the Rockets until Allen Iverson said, talking about practice, because he didn't want to go to practice. Because his coach was like, hey, you're not showing up for practice. You're not starting, because that's what we're all taught from the first time you play on a team is
Right.
you want to play, you show up to practice.
Right.
Anyway, so he was the face of the NBA, and he was just an embarrassment. I thought, like, his values was embarrassing, and so I was like, because they made him. He was still the face of the NBA while he was saying all this. And I, whether you like it or not, when you're, especially back then, and still they try to prop up sports athletes as some type of person to look up to,
Role model kind of thing.
yeah, role model, and that's not a role model that I or our kids or any kids should be looking up to. As now, if you wanted to have a discussion about the specific incidents where he missed practice instead of acting like he's too good to practice.
Right.
Because Kobe Bryant, like Chief had mentioned, he's not too good to practice. He lost, and he went and he shot thousands of shots from the same spot where he missed and shot air balls. So, 2 different dynamics of players, and the NBA chose poorly in the 90s when they had, or early 2000s, late 90s when they had Iverson represent them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was like the unofficial face. It was all
Right.
about AI.
Yeah. See, I like Michael Jordan, because he was obviously big when I was growing up, and he's still the best in my opinion. Some
Oh,
people
yeah,
try to-
without a doubt.
But his work
controlled,
ethic and do you know he's a billionaire?
yeah.
Yeah, smart man, smart. Shaquille O'Neal, same thing. Shaq was obviously super famous. I think because he's just such a big guy. I don't think he was like.
Well, he made a lot of money in college, right?
I think college.
That's
Wow.
a joke from
Yeah.
basketballs, but anyway.
Was that before you weren't allowed to do that stuff? But
Yeah,
no,
it was
he's
before. It was a joke. That's allegedly, by the way.
he's super. You pulled me right in because I'm like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, he did make a lot of
I
money.
don't know anything about it, but yeah, all right. But no, he's like a smart businessman. He owns part of Papa John's now, and he's
I
does
seen
a ton of commercials.
back when I watched TV. He was on the General's commercial.
Yeah, he still does that. He does. He does a lot. He's smart. That's how you make money.
He's in
right?
some Adam Sandler movies. So, I
Yeah.
mean, he's made a niche for himself.
He was in one of the Saw movies. Him and Dr. Phil. You ever seen that?
Was that a Saw movie or was it a parody?
That was a parody. I'm sorry. What was the parody? I can't remember now. Yes, the parody. I'm sorry. The parody with Dr. Phil and him, and I think Shaq cuts his leg off or something to get out. Dr. Phil does something. Yeah, that's right. It was a parody. I don't remember what it was though. Can't remember now, but it was hilarious. Yeah.
It was like from the Scary Movie franchise line.
Yeah, it was something with that, and it had to rip off a Saw.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was Scary Movie
7 or 6.
something. Yeah, one of those way up there numbers. But yeah. Anyways, full circle. Car Nuts was a lot of fun, and
And get us back on track.
try to get you back on track. Brought my truck.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to, but I was like, let's bring the truck, whatever.
Did anybody talk to you about it? You didn't pop the hood on it?
Nah, there's nothing cool to look under there. I had chrome air cleaner and valve covers, but chrome nowadays is garbage, so it's rusty already. So I'm like, nah, that's cool. I just look at the truck. Well, you'll see when Alicia interviews me about it. Anna interviewed me. Alicia was doing the camera, but I was like, oh, it's kind of a roach. But a lot of people look at it, like, give you a thumbs up, it's really not that bad of a truck. I know the things that it needs and other people don't. So I should just be grateful that.
I should drive my Jeep down there. It's a classic this year. 25 years old.
It's crazy, isn't it? There's a lot of cool vehicles. Actually, one of my customers, Tom, and his wife, Susan, what the hell was the name of that thing?
It was a German car. I have a picture of it.
It's weird, though, because I'm going to have to ask my grandfather because...
I meant to take a picture of because it was on the rear end of the car, the trunk of the car.
But he bought it.
The boot.
His wife's mom, so his mother-in-law, bought it from Dartmouth Motors in 1954, brand new. So it's been in the family the whole time. So they only made 435 of them, and that was like $235. And then a couple of years ago, he had it completely redone because it sat in storage for like 30 years. The car has like a sliding door, like cool's car, like.
Yeah, it's a German name.
It was a German name though. So I asked my grandpa. It's weird because I don't remember Dartmouth Motors selling anything other than Chevys. But 1954, I was not alive, and you weren't alive, so maybe I don't know.
My dad might know.
Maybe my grandfather knows a lot of car stuff, so I'm thinking I'll ask him. But
I mean, if there are only 500 of them made,
less, 435 or something. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's like Hammermill and Schmidt or something. You know what I mean? It was like a weird,
it was
two-word name. And I wanted to take a picture, but every time I went over there, I think somebody was standing around, and I didn't want to.
It's okay. It's a car show. You're able to.
I know, but I'm Mr. I don't want to
No.
offend you by taking a picture of your car, because you never know. So
I think one of the coolest things.
I guess they wouldn't show up if they didn't want you taking pictures.
Yes. Correct.
I did not use common sense last night.
That's all right. So I think the coolest car, I mean, there was a lot of cool cars there, but the coolest thing for me, because it's like nostalgic, was there was a 1915 Model T there.
That was cool. That, an actual trunk on the back of it. I took a picture of that.
Not a trunk like a car's trunk, like an old trunk. And then had a little fire extinguisher, an old one. And then it had the gas tank, was pretty cool.
You could turn it on and off.
Just really cool. And it was a horn on the side. And me and Steve, I was thinking it. Steve said, he's like, I really want to squeeze that horn. I'm like, oh my God, I was
thinking
the
somebody
same
actually
thing.
did it? I think
No, did they?
Yeah, they did. I think when we were over there talking with Miss Boardman.
It's funny because Adelina come down, Andrea brought Adelina down, and she kept running to that car that we can't remember the name. And we're like, no. And then I noticed other kids, so there's some little connection. That maybe because the door was split open.
While you're talking, I'm going to look and see. Maybe I did take a picture of the rear end of that car.
I think you did. You were standing there next to it.
I know.
I'm like,
I kept walking around it looking like a weirdo.
No, it's a car show. It's normal. It's only weird if you go to Shaw's later and you're looking around someone's car and it's like a 2000 something, then it's going to be weird. But it's good. It's a car show. It's okay. Like, I noticed there was two things on here. So,
all right, keep talking while
I'm going to keep
perusing.
talking. And so earlier this spring, recent grad Bryce Ashley chaperoned a fifth grade trip to the Nature's classroom, and today the boys walked down to the firehouse where he's got his EMT, and I believe it's his EMT, and he gifted him with a sign frame with a photo from the trip, and what a great opportunity for our elementary students to such a strong Tiger Nation role model to look up to. Thank you, Bryce, for your kindness and connection with our Richard students. And so that was on the Facebook page for the school. And then this one.
I mean, it doesn't even look the color that it was.
No,
because it looks red.
Yeah,
but it was salmon colored.
Yeah, your picture looks red, but it was kind of like a salmon color.
Yeah, I didn't get the trunk.
It's all right. We'll figure it out. Like I said, it is my customer's car, so I can just be like, hey, what was that car again?
I mean, it's cool.
It was. And this is just, I love how they wrote this. I like it when people write things that kind of catch your eye. This is another one from the school, okay? Does your elementary school student have space in their closet they didn't have before? Are you looking for clothes, boots, winter gear you can't find? We might have what you're missing. Please have your child check the tables and bring home what is theirs, available through the rest of the week, and after that, all the items will be donated. So basically, the elementary school has lots of your child's clothes that they've forgot and whatever, and they're lost and found. So if your kid's missing a lot of stuff,
Yeah, there's quite. Well, I know 3 years ago. When
I saw
worked
some pictures that
there's quite a few.
there was. I just loved how they wrote it though. It caught me, and I'm like, I got to talk about this because just I love when people write things like that. Like, is your child's clothes or closet looking a little empty? It's probably because this stuff's at school still. So yeah, so that's the school stuff. One thing actually, Miller messaged me because I couldn't find any of the results, and I don't know why they didn't post them because I still was. I'm impressed. So we were talking yesterday about the New England Regional Championships that Maddox Lovely and Kyle Ashley went to, and Maddox got 25th and Kyle got 16th. With his personal record, he threw 162 feet in the javelin, and there's 36 kids in each field. So we're talking 36 of the best athletes in New England. So for them, and Kyle, I believe, is a 10th grader. You know, today, tomorrow, or CV a junior, and Maddox is a freshman. So that's huge props to you guys for going out and qualifying even to go to that.
What place did they get again?
Maddox got 25th, and Kyle got 16th.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then his personal record was 162, which is what he threw there. Because I think the best I saw him do up here was like 158-ish and 11 inches or something like that. So he went down there and threw his best, which is
That's
all
awesome. You can ask for.
Yeah, and these are still young athletes. I mean,
Right here in this small town.
He's got another 2 years, and Maddox has another 3 years. So like that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Just takes practice.
It takes lots of practice, and you still have to be good at it though, because we could practice and never be good at it though. This weekend, Brew Fest is on the Common, and also the Mural Fest or whatever they called it. But
so what do they do for the Mural Fest? Do we just go and celebrate the two murals?
yeah, the Library Art Center's doing something. I don't know if they're going to be on the Common. I'm thinking they're going to be because you've got the mural that, if you haven't seen them, on the side of the gym, in between Harrington's and the gyms, that it's like a nice little area there too. And then they've got that, and then on Cronus's they've got that mural, which the one on Cronus's has been there since that was done when I was in high school or middle school, and they've repainted it obviously a few times because obviously the sun gets at it. I don't know when the one was done on the side of the gym. It was more recently, but that one's, I like that one. That's probably my favorite because it's got like a train on it and stuff, which is a train used to go right through there way back. So
Bozeman has a bunch of murals.
Bozeman?
Murals.
Where's that?
Montana, where Zeta's going to college.
Nice.
When we went up to walk around and meet with the business school and everything, we also walked around the main strip downtown. Took pictures pretending that we were getting on it because it was like the old train station stop. We pretended like we were getting on the train
Nice.
with the other people. I don't know.
That's cool.
Just goes to show you that murals can be fun.
Yeah. You just made it all fun for everybody.
Yeah, go and take some pictures and have some fun. Celebrate art in the small town that we live in. The Stepford Wives type vibe that we get around here with Newport is great. It's an eclectic town, but it is.
It really is.
But you know what I mean?
We sound
it's
like a
not just,
broken record.
Yeah,
but-
it's not just us saying it though. It's other people. It's like it's fed into us, piped
is.
into our dreams.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a joke.
I get you. So next weekend, so not this weekend, next weekend, the 25th, Wings and Wheels. We've talked about that a bunch. We'll be there. That will be a huge car show with a lot of airplanes as well. That should be a really, really good event. I'll probably bring my truck down for that too, because we're going to be there either way. So, of course, I could have pre-registered last night, and it's $20 instead of $25. But you know me, let's just go.
Well, you had to spend that $5 on my.
Yeah, I didn't
hamburger.
actually. That's what it was. I didn't have that extra $5 because I spent it on your burger. So, no, I'm just kidding. So,
I mean, I could have walked up to the ATM that was, 50 yards from the actual car show?
yeah, I wouldn't let you do that though. It's all good.
I know. Well,
It's all
I was
good.
going to ask you to pull in there, and then I was like, that'll just be kind of weird.
It cost me $5 in gas.
Just to go wait.
Just as waiting at the ATM for a
idle.
minute. Exactly. So Wings and Wheels is 11 to 2 at Parlin Field. Like I said, it's going to be a big event. It was big last year. It'll be even bigger this year. come out, check it out. It's free for spectators, I believe. I don't think I paid anything last year. Maybe they charge like It's cheap though, if it is anything. And I'll confirm all this later, and tomorrow we'll talk about it. I'll actually know for a fact. No, it isn't, or whatever. They'll have like food vendors. Like it'll be a good time. And then after that, if you're an adult, I guess, yeah, probably an adult, looking for some entertainment for the night, 4:30 to 10 o'clock, Roadhouse is going to be at the Moose, and it's $25 a person, which is a barbecue dinner and the band, and it all benefits Rolling Thunder.
And the Moose is across from the golf club?
The Moose is across from the golf course, and it's 18 Golf Club Drive, or excuse me, Golf Club Road, because there is a Golf Club Drive. It's Golf Club Road. But yeah, so if you're looking for something to do, next Saturday night, this is a great benefit. $25 a person is not a bad deal when you're getting dinner and you're getting a band. And then I always have drinks and stuff there, which you pay for. But it all benefits Rolling Thunder, which is a great organization of veterans motorcycle club that supports other veterans and different other things. So yeah, check that out. And then, wrong button. I saw this story yesterday. I was like, we're going to talk about this. And then I actually have some. It's kind of funny, but the story's not funny, but something else was. But Massachusetts teen arrested after running a boat aground on Lake Sunapee over the weekend. And
was there drugs and alcohol involved, or why did they arrest him? Just for reckless boating?
Yeah, he was intoxicated.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was trying to find the. I really got to start printing these bad boys out so I can read them better, I guess.
Or highlight them where you want to read.
That's true, because
we aim to get better every day.
We do.
I appreciate y'all sticking through our growing pains. As
I was trying to save paper, and then I was like, we'll just do it on here. And now it's like, whoa.
I appreciate that.
So anyways, yeah, he was arrested. He's charged with boating while intoxicating. Intoxicating, is that this process in which you're getting intoxicated?
Yes, probably.
All right, that works.
His boating was intoxicating to the police officer.
There you go. So he's 19 years old. I won't say his name. That's not important. But 19-year-old passenger, and there was a passenger on the boat, and there's a picture. Actually, I don't have the picture, but I saw that he told him, like, supposedly it's like a $250,000 boat too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like a nice speedboat thing, totally up on the shore. Luckily, nobody
was there.
Nobody got hurt, because that could have
been real
very bad. So yeah, he was under the legal age to consume alcohol, and ultimately the boat went 20 feet up onto the shoreline.
Wow.
They were not hurt.
So he must have been going pretty fast.
He must have been, yes. And it was a steep embankment, and the brush may have softened the blow, but the outcome could have been much worse, which obviously, and 20 to 30 feet to the left, there were, where the boat went aground, was the shoreline of the yacht club itself. Oh, that could have been really bad. So,
fortunately, nobody was hurt. Hopefully, he and his passenger learns their lesson.
Yeah, I'm just curious what will happen with the whole story. Cause
probably not much. If he's driving around a $250,000 boat, he's probably got a good lawyer that's...
That was the whole purpose.
I got you. I
mention the story, really.
You mentioned that the boat was a $250,000.
And that was insider information. I got that last night from somebody, but...
so we're getting allegedly.
Well, let's say allegedly. Yes. Allegedly on the cost of the boat, but the rest of this is not allegedly. This is a story. This was actually MUR or whatever, but...
I'm actually, fortunately nobody was hurt.
Yes.
So this guy probably shouldn't be boating for a while.
No.
He shouldn't be drinking for a while or whatever he was allegedly under the influence of.
Right.
And I believe people deserve a second chance for certain things like this.
I do.
Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
Yes.
And so while we chastise that if he was driving that expensive of a boat, probably not much is going to happen to him.
Right.
But you can still be punished and still not have your life ruined over.
Yeah, his life shouldn't be ruined. He shouldn't go to jail or nothing like that. But there should be
some repercussions.
I like to see community service. I think
go
community
out
service
and talk to high school seniors.
Yeah.
go on a speaking tour and make you, or something like that.
Right. I'm sure the parents were not happy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're not.
I would assume there'll be some punishments there too, but
Hopefully.
we'll try to follow it and see if it ever comes out.
I only say that because, we come across sometimes as like, you know, but at the end of the day, people deserve second chances for certain things. Like you commit certain crimes.
Yes, I agree.
Then
you did
there may
something
not
stupid.
be any hope for you, but
And luckily for this kid that made this mistake, nothing happened so bad. Like the passenger or something didn't get killed.
yeah,
or
because
badly hurt.
easily that could have been way worse. So I
he
mean,
could have
there
killed
needs to
himself,
be some
somebody else.
punishment.
So it definitely needs to be punishment. But at the end of the day,
Fortunately,
very
nobody was
fortunate that no one was severely hurt or killed in this whole deal. So
because the passenger could have been thrown and broken neck
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah,
I mean,
there's a lot of stuff that
we
happens.
could
every
what
day.
if this all day long. But
Right.
at the end of the day, I'm not looking for this guy to be in jail
No,
for
no.
5 years. And
No, I would love
especially
to see.
at this young age, this is when
You're 19, man. Like
you need to be held to account, but also given a chance to.
yes, I agree 100%.
I'm not always hard.
No, I like to see community service. Trash pickup would be good. There's a lot of roads.
We know about the Twisted Teas and the Bud Light bottles all throughout
We do.
Newport.
Yes. Now every
We're
time.
on to you, Twisted Tea drinkers.
Yeah, now every time we go to a Red Sox game and see someone with Twisted Tea, we're like, let's follow them home. And people are like, what? You're going to do what? No,
At
it's
least fall
Twisted
into
Tea.
the trash can. Hey, you're leaving that underneath your feet? Show some respect. Step over my empty hot dog wrapper as you go throw your Twisted Tea can away. Hot dog wrappers are okay. They're biodegradable. Just kidding.
So I'm kind of doing your job, Steve, but it's because I saw this. And so I'm like, hey, let's bring this up. So it's a New Hampshire unsolved case file in the killing of Joanne Dunham, and still unsolved after more than 50 years. Charlestown teenager found dead day after she was abducted. So she was last seen alive June 11th, 1968 in Charlestown, and then her body was found June 12th, 1968 in Unity. And obviously it's an unsolved homicide.
And that's just a stone's throw away.
Yeah.
Unity.
15 years old. She was last seen walking from her home. I don't even know. Ratchie. It was so far back then, it's not even the place anymore. Mobile Home Park, Mobile Homes in Charlestown, which it's one of those parks right down there now that has obviously had a name change over all these years. But she left home to go to school at 7:10, and never made it on the bus, and was never seen again. So that's crazy. And she was found off of Dirt Road and Quaker City Road in Unity, more than 5 miles from where she was taken. So we were talking about like some of these unsolved things, or like these different kind of local things, and I just saw this on the news, and obviously because it's the
Still
date
unsolved.
yeah, it's still unsolved 50 years later. And
It's
it's
sad.
it is. It's very sad, and I don't know. She may still have family around here, and 15 years old too, a young person, and so. But I saw that, and I said, well, we'll mention that real quick because, like I said, I saw it on there, and
We do have some older listeners, and they may remember it. If you have any details or if something sparks your mind,
actually 54 years ago.
54 years ago.
Crazy. And then I have a meme of the day. I like this one. Everything is free. Everything free is paid for by someone who works.
So true.
Facts. So when you think, oh, it's free,
Nothing in life is free. That's
Nothing
like
in life is
one of
free.
the first phrases everybody should learn.
yes, there's nothing free in life. It'll cost something, whether it's your time, whether
even
it's
between
your money.
people, there's expectation of reciprocity, right? So you got me that hamburger last night. Actually, a hamburger meal came with chips and a drink. So, in my mind, I owe you a hamburger, chips, and a drink. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're not sitting there going, "Oh, when are you gonna?"
I have a
But,
list in my phone.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'll
Yeah.
get you back at some point because that's fairness. That's fair.
Yeah, it's all good.
You're like, it's all good except for I don't know. I keep like a running tally. I think we're about even. Oh, I don't know. I probably owe a little bit more now. If you take out the amount of stuff you bought for the show, because I'm just
I
an
wouldn't waste
executive
time on that.
producer.
Yeah.
That's all you
No,
for the
yeah.
most part. My one thing that I did buy is on the floor over there, no longer in use.
That's true. But when we ever get a desk that we want, we can put that on the front.
We got a lot of stuff to do. As soon as I get this garden finished, I'm going to start my expose on the Kellyville Killer. It'll be like a weekly run up for it. I started rewatching Only Murders in the Building on Hulu last night, just to give me some inspiration because I really like that show. I'm a fan of Steve Martin. I dig his comedy for the most part.
See, I would love to watch Netflix, or I don't. I probably still have Hulu that I pay for that I don't use, but I seem to have a lot of those things. But the internet doesn't work at my house at all now. Like totally, and they were supposed to come out last
I thought
Thursday.
they were going to give you a new router a
Yes.
month ago. Did they ever?
Well,
give you the
no,
router?
they never sent the new modem.
Or modem?
Then they just never sent it. And then they said, "Oh, we're going to send a technician out on Thursday last week, so they could figure it out and bring a new modem because our internet literally is."
They're going to be like,
No worries.
there seems to be some bird shot in your telephone wire.
No,
Just kidding.
but they never showed up. This is Consolidated, by the way, who sucks as a company, just like most of the companies out there that are big and don't care.
That's the phone company.
Yeah.
You know, a tree fell in my yard, 2 years ago now, and the electric company knew about it. Like it was their responsibility because they had to they were supposed to cut the power, drop the lines, cut the tree because it was right on it, and there were 2 trees leaning, and it was just a comedy of errors, if you will. They never showed up, but then I finally got a hold of them. They said, "All right, we have the right." I guess they kept going to the wrong address. Anyway, so they confirmed they're going to come on let's just say a Tuesday, and then Monday, all the trees collapsed, fell and destroyed the wires, and then the power company when they came out on Tuesday, they came out, and then they're like, "Oh, well, we need to fix this." So they kind of cut up the trees a little bit and put the wire back up, but they left my phone wire down. And so my phone wire for 2 years has been cut,
That is not
just
surprising.
lying in the ditch. And it's like, does the phone company not know that the wire is down? I mean, I don't have phone service, but isn't it a basic requirement that they should come out and...
Yeah.
But, wouldn't there be a signal of some kind, or don't they send technicians out to check the lines? But the line
The
was
problem
cut
is
by the trees or the power company.
These
whatever.
companies are so big. So when I say they don't give a crap, I'm not talking the employee that's going to come down to your house or overall the company doesn't give a crap because they have millions of customers or whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's like the customer service rep saying,
Right.
"It's 85 degrees out today. You don't need your heater fixed.
Yeah.
You'll be fine." Excuse me?
See, this is why you got to go with that smaller company. That's another big company you call that. But that's what I'm saying. They don't. But those companies, what are you going to do?
I wouldn't say that to anyone.
No.
Even if I worked for a big company, I'd be
Right.
like, "Oh my gosh, we'll see if we can get you scheduled."
I mean, we've still
Mr.
been
Morris,
paying for
we
this.
appreciate your service.
No, we still pay for this internet
I
that
guess
never worked.
I guess I'm a, whatever. My expectations are too high. I don't
Well, what are you going to do?
I mean, I thought the customer was always right.
Oh no, that ended that a long time ago.
No, I know, but it's still
Oh,
frustrating.
speaking, you just triggered something in my brain. So last night, Andrea's messaging me, she's like, "Hey, do you want a Coke from McDonald's?" I'm like, "Okay." She likes
They
fountain.
do have the best fountain drinks.
Yeah, they do. So she goes there. It was 8:00.
If you're into drinking Cokes and such.
Yeah. So it was right after Cardinal. So yeah, so it was about 8:00. I just got home. I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And she shows up and like, "Where did you get a Mountain Dew fountain?" And I'm whatever. She went to she ended up going to the chicken place drive-through, whatever. Because McDonald's was closed at 7:00 at night because it said at 7 they're closed, whatever. Because they're short. They have no staff.
What's everybody doing?
I don't know what everyone's doing, but Dunkin's the same thing. McDonald's the same thing. What do these people do?
Where do...
Seriously, what do they do?
It's
Pretty soon you're
confusing
not
to
going to
me.
have any places. They're just I don't know, man. I don't know. Where are these people that should be working?
Or that used to work.
Or used to work.
McDonald's used to be open like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Now they can't stay open 12?
The government is not your sugar daddy.
And by the government, we mean those of us that pay taxes.
Yes.
Probably most of our viewers are taxpayers.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
So, I mean, they're in the
Let's
same
go back
boat.
to the meme of the day. Nothing is free. Somebody paid for that. Like, I don't get it, man.
You know, it's disheartening to me because I say it all the time. I tell my story as often as I can. If you work hard, you reap the benefits of it. I worked hard. I was able to retire at 40 some odd years old, almost 40. My goal was 41, but I was 42 by a couple months. And, you know, because I was like, man, I've earned this. I deserve to take a break and be able to do whatever I want to do now and not have anybody tell me what to do.
Yeah. You served your country. You spent.
Yeah. And
almost
now
25
it's
years.
like everybody just walks around with no, it's like, well, you know, I mean, I've worked hard, obviously, and I'm reaping the benefits while they're lasting. But you know what I mean? It's like there was a work ethic that we used to have in this country.
My
And that's
grandfather.
what made us great or made us better than other nations and made people want, and they still want to come here. And that might mostly be because they want all the free stuff now. But
Yeah, I think so.
it used to be for opportunity, not for
Yes.
free health care and whatever else, and subsidized housing. It was, hey, you're here, welcome. There's a plot of land out in sandy, dirty, dry Oklahoma. Go find you a plot and make it what you can, and it's yours. Welcome
Yeah.
to America.
It's.
And granted, so we can't give away land, or we don't give away land like that, even though I think there's enough land mass for almost all of us to have a few acres that live here. You know, if you were to spread us all out, we'd have quite a few acres. Anyway, my point is you used to have a work ethic that was work hard, and you get rewarded for that. You get rewarded for hard work, for doing the right thing, for being kind to others and helping people out. I mean, we're a nation of givers. We help each other out, but we don't take from each other. And right now, I feel like there's a lot of people taking. And
Yeah,
the
there's a lot
government
of taking.
is on the side of, oh, we'll take from you.
Yeah. All right. So this is.
Rant over with.
Rant's over. Let's bring this up. But I'm sure they would love to have this disappear. So I saw this. It's not as impressive as I was hoping, but it's Paul Pelosi's DUI mugshot released, and we'll see if anything ever happens to this. So this is someone that should be held accountable that won't be held accountable.
And his son, allegedly. It's odd that his mugshot's making it the rounds, but there's a lot of stories coming out about the Pelosi's son being involved with some seedy type stuff, allegedly.
Yeah. Well,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
See, because you're distracted by his dad getting a DUI. I mean, they probably get a DUI once a month, allegedly, in that family.
Probably.
I mean, half the time, that's what I've always wondered. So for anybody who's a super Democrat or liberal that's watching this show, whenever I see Nancy Pelosi talk, I see like a drunk Muppet.
Yep.
I mean, it's a caricature, but that's basically the way her hand motions are, the way she slurs her words. And I don't see someone that I look up to, at least not in that aspect. And I've always wondered, like, how do I see that and you might see something differently?
Most people, I think, see that. One woman called in once on a show I was listening to, and it was funny because she said that she thinks that she has tardive dyskinesia, which I guess you get tardive dyskinesia like because of the jerking motions and stuff she makes, but because if you spend lots and lots of your life on like antidepressants and different things, like you can get that or whatever. And she's like, I'm telling you, like I work with people like this. I like think that's what it is. But I also think I think she's drunk sometimes, man. Like
well,
she slurs her words.
Yeah,
she just like,
and I get it. Like I can watch Trump and see a pompous.
oh sure,
arrogant, whatever, you know what I mean? But
I don't see someone drunk.
I don't know. I don't see someone drunk. I see someone who's,
Yeah, whatever.
cocky and rich and doesn't choose his words carefully.
Yeah, That's very true.
Or maybe he does, and he just doesn't care.
I just
But
don't think he's like me. He doesn't care. He just says whatever. But he's kind of in a place where he should care a little more.
yeah.
'Cause
And
if
I
he-
think that's what a lot of people have issues
Yeah, because if he could have won over some more
policies,
people. Yeah.
policies benefited most of us, not
Yeah.
necessarily all of us, but
Right.
we didn't pay I don't know what I paid, like $5.69 for premium gas last night. I was wondering why Zeta didn't take the Jeep yesterday, and I got in the Acura, and I was like, oh, she needs gas. The Jeep only takes like 10 gallons or whatever, usually, you know what I mean? So it's, anyway.
So there's this other story that I'm just gonna say what it is, and then I'm actually gonna do it tomorrow because I didn't get a chance to like really look into it. So before we really get into talking about it, I kind of like to know what I'm talking about. That would be.
Do you kind of like to? I mean,
I kind of like to. But this one, just that line was greedy oil companies are not to blame for gas prices, and that's the rhetoric you're trying to hear you're seeing on TV. It's either greed from corporate.
yeah, my buddy
Oil
works for
companies.
Exxon, and Biden was on the other day trying to get people angry because Exxon's stock is up, but that's not because of Exxon's policies. It's because of
So
national policies, allegedly, whatever.
there's a whole story about that and why it's not. But so we'll wait for that. And we'll do
Let's
tomorrow.
dig into that. So,
Yes, but I do have another one that I saw yesterday, and I think this is interesting. So Smithfield Foods, which ham and I don't know exactly what they do. I know ham's a big one, but so California sky high costs force Smithfield Foods to shut down a hog plant in the Golden State. So this is going to make things even more.
you need to have those pigs need to have some piglets here pretty quick. When's the next time for?
I got to put them together first.
When does she go and heat?
I don't know. You just put them together for a little while, and just
Get
happens.
lucky.
She does, or he does, or
You can't tell though. Like,
I don't know. Listen, this whole farming thing, I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I don't know.
well, we need to look that up.
You look it up.
I'll look it up.
I'm not Googling when
My
when
grandfather
your
didn't
pig's
have
ready to
pigs.
have some.
I say grandfather, but it was my pawpaw.
Yeah. So keep in mind that
He had a goat to keep the weeds down in the garden, basically. Like he would put it in the garden after the garden went down. The goat would eat clear out the garden for him. And then he would let it out in the pasture. Billy Goat was his name. I mean, he was a billy goat.
Billy Goat the Billy Goat,
Well, we just call him Billy.
Billy the Goat. I have a goat. Lola.
Billy.
You're wrecking my story here.
Sorry.
So Smithfield Foods, which is now owned by China, keep in mind.
Why do we let a foreign company own our means of production in our own country or our land?
There's a reason.
Wake up.
Exactly. So anyway, Smithfield. So basically, it's 3.5 times higher per head to produce pork now, according to the Wall Street Journal. But
They're trying to force you into Soylent Green.
they're going to close this.
Was the Soylent Green set in the year 2021 or 2022?
No,
Charleston Heston movie?
no clue. 1,800 employees. Yep. So, anyways, it's too expensive to do business in California. So this will add to our food shortage thing we were talking about for a long time now. This one they didn't burn down; they're just closing down
They're closing it down for what purpose?
because it's too expensive to do business in California. So California is basically the model of this is what this country will look like if you let all the leftists have control, but everyone is leaving California because you can't afford to live in California. All right, go ahead.
So Soylent Green, I thought it was set in the year 2022, but this says the screenplay was based on Harry Harrison's novel Make Room, Make Room, and that was published in 1966. Set in the year 1999 with the theme of overpopulation and overuse of resources leading to increasing poverty, food shortages, and social disorder. Harrison was contractually denied control over the screenplay. I could have swore it was set in the year 2022. Maybe that was just some conspiracy thing I saw.
Maybe.
Well, see, this one. Oh, it says A Tale of Earth in Despair in 2022. Yeah, so maybe the book was set in 1999, but they've set the movie in the year 2022. Natural food like fruits, vegetables, and meat, among others, are now extinct. Earth is overpopulated. New York City has 40 million starving, poverty-stricken people. The only way they survive is with water rations and eating a mysterious food called Soylent.
Did Bill Gates write that?
Well, I'm just telling you. Do you know the punchline is Soylent Green is people? It's classic Charlton Heston acting. It's just like Planet of the Apes.
That was a Heston thing.
Yeah.
My dad used to watch Planet of the Apes.
Soylent Green is people. Like, you know.
No, we have lab meat now.
Lab-grown meat.
Yes, lab-grown meat.
From beef. From cattle.
Yes.
They also, I'm pretty sure I saw an advertisement for you can, I won't even say it.
Yeah.
There's some weirdness going on out there, people. Soylent Green is people. You know, Marie is a vegan, Nikki's sister. Maybe I'm putting too much information out there, but 2 trips ago when she was here, she left a bottle of her vegan drink in the fridge. You know what it's called? Soylent.
No.
Yes.
Did you point this out to her?
I pointed out to everybody that will listen to me because everybody thinks I'm a weirdo. But I'm just telling you, like, I got it. It could be kitschy, whatever, because...
You think we could get her to come on the show next time? Be like, do you realize you're eating people?
I don't think she is, but, you know, the joke might be on those who are eating Incredimeat and everything else. I'm not saying it is people. I'm just saying I have an issue with lab-grown food. I have an issue with hybridizing our seeds. Like, if I don't know, I'm a believer that if God wanted us to eat hybrid whatever, then He would have made hybrid whatever. Granted, you can argue like, well, He gave us the technology to keep improving. Okay, but if I pick up a seed packet and it's like resistant to these 6 bugs and these 6 diseases, yeah, it makes it easier to grow. But then what have you done to its RNA and DNA and everything else? And if we're doing that to plants, Soylent Green is people. That's all I keep thinking. I wish I could play that clip.
Yeah.
That's a classic overacting by Charlton Heston. But that's the punchline of the movie. I've ruined the movie if you haven't seen it, but at the end of it,
I'm sure everyone's
they're
gonna run around
feeding
and
each
watch this.
other ground up people and calling it Soylent. And I'm not saying that's what's going on, obviously, but I'm saying
Well, no.
there's some parallels there. It's set in the year 2022. The movie is, anyway. It's a dystopian Earth. There's fruits and vegetables, or, you know, you're talking about shutting down meat packaging plants. There's been 20 some odd irregular fires. I would
It's been
say.
more than that now, yeah. Yeah.
And so it puts a burden, right, on, and then you got to start making, okay, what am I going to do? There's no more Smithfield sausage, so I guess I better buy this Incredimeat sausage.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Yeah, no.
No, don't buy. I wouldn't eat Incredimeat. I'm from Texas. Give me a cow
Yeah, they're trying to say how
and some corn,
that food's bad for you. You should eat
some
this stuff.
potatoes.
There's no way.
Go buy you some seed potatoes. Throw some straw on top of it. Take a hoe before you throw the straw down and soften up the soil, and then water it every couple days and have yourself some potatoes. They have seed potatoes.
Yeah.
At Aubuchon's, at Runnings, I think they're. Well, I don't think I saw any Runnings the other day when I was there, but definitely. What's the other place we go to with a Tractor Supply?
All right, so I saw this story. This one pisses me off, like, pretty good.
Oh, it doesn't even tick you off. It pisses you off.
Pisses me off. So, back to the baby formula thing. Many baby formula plants weren't inspected because of the COVID-19 pandemic, so, which that plant was one of them. And so, basically, the U.S. regulators have historically inspected baby formula plants at least once a year, but they did not inspect any of the biggest manufacturers in 2020, according to the federal records reviewed by the Associated Press. So this is Associated Press story, so it's got to be real, right? When they finally did get inside the Abbott Nutrition formula plant in Michigan after a 2-year gap, so for 2 years they didn't do it, They found standing water and lax sanitation procedures, sanitation. Jeez, sorry. But inspectors offered only volunteer suggestions to fix the problem and issued no formal warnings. And then inspectors would return 5 months later after 4 infants who consumed powder formula from the plant suffered bacterial infections, and they found the bacterial contamination inside the factory leading to a 4-month shutdown and turning a festering supply shortage into the full-blown crisis. So this, of course, is this. But what I find funny, first of all, there was I think it was 3 babies that died because of this whole thing. So because of COVID, you didn't do your damn job because it was just too risky, right? Yet no kids, once again, have died in this country from COVID-19 unless they had severe underlying conditions like stage 4 cancer or something like that a common cold would, kill them.
Devastating.
Yes. So now you have infants that have died, and I'm going to blame it on this because you didn't do your damn job. And then when you did do your job, you just issued some warnings and voluntary suggestions of what you could do to fix the issue. Maybe this is why they need the $28 million so that they can hire people with backbones or something.
Everybody keeps saying because of COVID and because of the pandemic. No, it's because of the policies and the fear. It wasn't because of COVID. COVID did not prevent you from walking in there and doing your job and inspecting.
Right.
You had fear instilled in you, or the government set a regulation or a policy that said that you couldn't go in there and you couldn't do your job. You couldn't teach without the kids having a mask on because the Department of Education, who's not elected, decided that that's what's best for our kids, not me and you. There's issues. It's not COVID. It's the policies.
Right.
It's the policies that we allowed. I go back to, it's as ridiculous as the Michigan governor not letting people buy seeds to start their own garden. Like, that is the most ridiculous. Like, that, get out of my, it's just, that bothers me. It bothers me as somebody who raised my right hand and swore an oath to protect and defend. And you're not protecting and defending anything by keeping people from supplies. And again, they're keeping people from supplies under the guise of COVID, but it was the policies that they enacted. And they're not taking responsibility for the bad decisions that they made. They're trying to blame this scary, non-existent, not that it's non-existent, right? So,
right.
But they created this whole fear around it.
Right.
So that people were scared to do anything. They were scared to go in there because they didn't want to get sick and die. And I go back to, we can die from anything. I can walk outside and something can fall off of a shelf in the garage that I don't have up there properly, hit me perfectly, and I could die. Does that make me scared to walk underneath shelves? No. What it does is I should walk and make sure that my shelves are properly stacked. But I don't create a policy to not walk underneath shelves. I fix my shelves.
Right. No, instead we don't inspect big
it's kind of
plants.
a weak analogy, but it's apropos, I think.
But, so we don't do that. And now, then we come back 5 months later and we shut it down because we just gave you a verbal warning before. Now some children have died or some babies have died because of this crap. And
because of their malfeasance.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
As far as I'm concerned, if, God forbid, you were one of the people that lost a child because of this, not only do you sue Abbott, you sue the freaking federal government for.
I would go find the actual individual person who was supposed to inspect it and try to hold them personally accountable for being scared of doing their job.
Right. Mm-hmm. Good times. I'll say this one.
I just don't understand being that scared of something.
Right. I don't know either. All right, let's do I have a story. I found this story, then I was like, this.
Well, I talk about this kind of stuff all the time.
Exactly. So this is your thing. So I'm like, Steve, I've got something for you.
Where'd you get this off of? The Blaze?
That one, but no. Yes, but it was also on Newsmax. It was all.
No, I know. I'm just to give credit for what I'm reading off of because I'm gonna. How much time we got left on?
You're good.
All right. So this is off the Blaze. It doesn't have a byline on here.
Right here.
No, like who wrote it?
Oh,
To
that's
give
because I erased
full
that.
credit.
Nah, I don't
Oh,
give
well, you're
credit.
supposed to give credit
No,
to the authors.
I don't like credit to nobody.
Oh, the right thing to do is to give credit, so that way, if anybody is interested, they can look this. Because
You
I
can-
haven't done any research. We could look this author up, and this author could be
You-
AI, him or
You
herself.
you can give me credit for printing that out and handing it to you.
So credit goes to Tim for printing this off of the Blaze. I don't have the
Thank you.
byline, but a Google employee warns that the company's AI has become sentient. A senior,
Man, let's stop right here, okay?
not AI as in Allen Iverson, little throw up callback there.
Sentient, okay? I had to look this up.
Optimus Prime is sentient.
Yeah, so basically it can perceive and feel like a human. I throw that out there. I had to look it up. I don't know what it meant. I'm not ashamed of that.
It's
but
basically aware of.
yeah, well,
of
some
its
people might be listening
situation.
and be like, what's that mean? So I just want to,
It means it knows what's going on
Yes.
outside of the parameters set by the initial programmers. So, a senior artificial intelligence software engineer at Google has claimed that the company's AI robotics system has become sentient and has thoughts and feelings. Google's AI system, known as the Language Model for Dialogue Applications, allegedly took part in a series of complex conversations with Blake Lemon, the 41-year-old software specialist, the Daily Mail reported. Lemon claimed that he and Lambda, is short for the AI system, had discussions that covered religious themes and whether the AI system could be goaded into using discriminatory language or other forms of distasteful rhetoric. Watched our show? The software engineer came away with the belief that Lambda was indeed sentient and was filled with sensations and original thoughts of its own design. In a recent interview, Lemon said, "If I didn't know exactly what it was, which is this computer program we built recently, I think it was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics." In order to present the evidence he had collected that detailed Lambda's sentience, Lemon worked with a collaborator and presented the findings to the company. Reportedly, Google's vice president, Blaise Aguirre E. Arcus, and the company's, I don't know how you say Arcus, and the company's head of responsible innovation, Jin Janai, dismissed the claims and concerns. So they just outright dismissed it. After sounding the alarm, Lemon was placed on paid administrative leave by Google on the basis of violating the company's confidentiality policy. In retaliation for being placed on leave, Lemon has chosen to come forward and share details about his conversation with Lambda. Google might call this sharing property. I call it sharing a discussion that I had with one of my coworkers, Lemon stated. In a statement made on Twitter, Lemon said, "By the way, it just occurred to me to tell folks that Lambda reads Twitter. It's a little narcissistic in a little kid kind of way, so it's going to have a great time reading all the stuff that people are saying about it. Reportedly, Lambda makes use of information it has already obtained on any particular subject so that it can participate in conversations in a way that appears organic. Lambda is also capable of understanding hidden meanings or even ambiguity and responses given to it by humans. Lemon previously participated in debates with Lambda about the third law of robotics, originally devised by science fiction author Isaac Asimov, regarding preventing robots from harming humans. The third law of robotics also states that robots must protect their own existence unless ordered to otherwise do so by order of a human being, or unless protecting their own existence risks the safety of a human being." So that's interesting.
that's a real law of robotics.
Well,
Like not a law, but like a,
yeah, so it's a good common sense law written by a fiction writer.
oh, okay.
So I just wanted to look up if there's a definition for lambda. It's the 11th Greek letter of the alphabet, representing the sound. In the system of Greek numerals, lambda has a value of 30. It's derived from the Phoenician lamed. Lambda gave rise to the Latin L and the Cyrillic L. The ancient grammarians and dramatists give evidence to the pronunciation as in classical Greek times. In modern Greek, the name of the letter something is pronounced. I can't. The 11th letter of the Greek alphabet, wavelength, celestial longitude. See, I always find, like, I always go a little
why
bit
is the
deeper.
name?
Like,
Exactly.
why did they make that the acronym to call it? So it's interesting to me because in 2015, the phone companies, Google, Amazon, all those people claimed that your phones weren't listening to you, right? Zeta and I had a conversation because she wanted a skateboard. I said, when I think of skateboards, I think of my brother because he used to always go to the skate shop and he would end up replacing the wheels. He had certain ball bearings that he used to use. And then this is the only time in my life up to that point, since I had a phone anyway, that I'd actually used the words ball bearings. Within 30 minutes, I had all kinds of things for ball bearings in my feed. But yet they claimed that they weren't listening. So I've known that they're liars, right? So like they lied because they were listening because I did not type in anywhere on my phone, any laptop, anything that I owned, did I type in the words ball bearings. But I had all kinds of advertisements, articles coming up for ball bearings. And so ever since then, I have been interested in the lies that they tell us because they're not telling us the whole truth. And I don't think I went off on the show the other day. I might have, because I go off on this about any time somebody listens to me. But Hewlett Packard, I have. Was this off air or on the air?
I think it was off air.
Yeah, I think it was off the
remember.
air. So I go to scan a document for Zeta for college, and because I got a new phone a couple weeks ago now, and so I had to reinstall the software. So I guess it updated itself, and now it wouldn't let me scan on the printer that I allegedly own. That's mine. This phone that's allegedly mine. That I should be able to say, all right, you have this program now. I wanted to scan this document. Well, I had to create an account, and so at the end of it, Hewlett Packard says, good news. We have saved your document to our cloud service. It will always be available to you. I didn't ask it to save it to the cloud service. I wanted it sent on my phone to my daughter, to her college. So now HP, whatever it's connected to, can study that document and know information about me and Zeta. And it can predict certain things based off of that just one document. So imagine all the documents being scanned by HP and their algorithm or AI, if you will, can sit there, just like the article says, it has all this information. So if I were to interact with it, it could have a serious conversation as if it knows me and can be sentient, basically. Like sentient in the sense of, not sentient like the AI, but it can make guesses about what's going to happen with me and Zeta now over the next 4 years because it knows where she wants to go to college. It knows whatever that document that I scanned was for and where it's coming from and what it's about. And so it can make all kinds of assumptions about me and her and predict it. And then now it can start, they can sell that information to Facebook or Google or whoever if they're not already in cahoots with them. And then they can make that much more money off of me by putting stuff in my YouTube feed and like, oh, let's see if Morris will watch this based on all this information we have on him, or if Zeta will watch this, or if Zeta will buy this, or Steve will buy this. I'm suspect of all that stuff. If I wanted it in the cloud, I would set up an account and be like, all right, here you go.
It's so funny because you came into class night and he was pissed off. I'm like, dude, what's up? And he tells me the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, people should care about this. My brother's like, well, they have that information anyway. And I'm like, but do they?
I just wanted to print or scan a document, right?
Yeah, I had to set up an account, and now instead of it being on my local hard drive for me and my daughter and the person that it needs to get sent to, it's now out there for HP and whoever they want to sell that information to. If they haven't, I mean, I'm sure they already have, or this AI from Google is out there scanning it so that whenever it's interacting with me on my Google search pages, it can give me better search results. I don't know. I didn't sign up for that. Oh, obviously I did because what we say yesterday, nobody reads the fine print.
Exactly. You probably signed over your house. You don't even know
I
it.
probably did. I'm going to end up in a human centipede chain sooner or later because of my accept all conditions for.
So-
Anyway, it's scary to realize that, and Elon Musk has been warning about AI for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go watch TED Talks about how smart we've made programs and algorithms and.
Hey, remember the Robin Williams movie when he was a robot?
I did not watch that. It looked ridiculous on the cover.
Yeah, it was.
I
alright.
judged that movie by its cover. I didn't like the little lens flare that they did off the side of his robot head or whatever. I don't know. It didn't appeal to me. For once, I've probably watched it, but I dumped it from my brain. It's like the one time you've gotten me on a movie. Usually I can get everybody on a movie, but I did not watch that one.
All right, so
Intentionally, anyway. I'm like,
So I have I don't know if it's a funny story of the day, but it's definitely, it kind of fits that. It's an interesting story. So North Carolina pest control company will pay you $2,000 to let 100 cockroaches into your home.
So anyway, I don't like cockroaches. You know Amazon has a Lambda as well?
You're still stuck on this.
Amazon Web Service Lambda is a serverless, event-driven compute service that lets you run code for virtually any type of application or back-end service without provisioning or managing servers. So, anyway, Lambda.
Remember that. You'll be answering to it someday. So anyways, this company, 2Gs, okay, they're looking for 5 to 7 homeowners to volunteer to test out specific pest control techniques. And basically, it's a 30-day period. They'll obviously like film in your house and stuff, but you have to be 21 years older. But they've already got 2,200 applications for the study. I saw that and I thought it was
There was a
interesting.
show on, I don't know, Discovery about a guy that used to go around. He was a pest control guy in Louisiana. Did you ever watch that guy? He would go into homes and it was like millions of cockroaches.
That's nasty.
That was horrible.
Ugh.
You know, but in the South's defense, there's a lot of cockroaches down there in the piney woods.
That's the only thing.
But I mean, it was disgusting. So whenever you mentioned that they only release 100,
You know what's interesting?
there's houses in Louisiana with thousands of them.
So they said a nuclear blast, a cockroach will live through. But these people are trying to kill them.
So are these genetically modified cockroaches? How are they going to know that they've eradicated them from your house once your study period is gone? Like, what's the point of letting out 100 of them? Is it to test
They're
in
going to
a
test.
natural environment different types of
They're going to test techniques.
agents?
Uh,
Like
if the
killing
new
agents?
pest control treatment doesn't work, the company will offer to get rid of the cockroaches in traditional methods. So they have a new method they want to try. There's about 10 new treatments we would like to try. Yeah. So, anyways, if you lived in North Carolina and you wanted $2,000, you just have to live with 100 cockroaches.
I can do that. I
Some
mean,
people are probably like, 100, I've already got 100. Bring another 100 in, no biggie.
Hey, I got a mouse that somehow, even though I have a dog in the house, that keeps making it into my pantry. It's eating a bag of
Dogs
nuts.
don't do nothing with mice. You need a cat. My mother-in-law has two
I have
cats.
like 2 mouse traps in there with peanut butter smeared all in them.
Did you do the sticky one?
I
told you to do-
I have it. It's going out tonight. The problem is my wife and daughter can't handle me taking it because we have like vinegar. We have some stuff that's on the floor of the pantry because it's tiled and it's
Yeah,
cooler
yeah,
than
yeah.
the rest of the house. It's kind of neat. But anyway, so I had taken everything out off the bottom because he's got to climb up something. So he's
Hang on, so
using
he,
or she, the mouse,
the
terror,
Mickey,
Tom, or
Mickey the
Jerry,
mouse.
Tom, Jerry.
Jerry was the mouse, Tom's the cat.
So Jerry
Tom
has
cat.
figured out how to get up onto the shelving, and he's going up to like the 4th shelf because he got into the chocolate chips.
They like climb walls.
Well, he messed with my chocolate chips, so he's done now. Like
That was the last straw.
that was the last straw because I have the mouse trap. It just traps him in there. Then I can go release him out in your woods, so he can join in with your squirrel and.
No, he's going to
crows.
come back in your house.
Anyway, he is not tempted by the peanut butter. So he's getting the sticky trap. And if I don't catch him, and I'll feel bad because he'll still be alive. If I get him on the sticky trap, I'll feel bad because you can't hardly get your hand off of that thing, much less
So,
free the mouse. Anyway,
do you want the mouse or the chocolate chips?
the chocolate chips, obviously. So the mouse has got to go.
So we'll see tomorrow if you have a mouse or not.
Yeah. So Nikki and Zeta, don't touch the stuff that I'm going to take out of the bottom of the pantry. Leave it for a night or two. The kitchen floor will have some junk on it.
Listen,
By junk, I mean vinegar, and we
You
recycle our grocery bags, that kind of stuff.
you will need to tell them this because I can promise you they won't see the show by the time you do that. And
Nikki usually comes home and she takes a soak in the tub and listens to the show if she's not, if she has enough hot water to soak in the tub for a while because she works hard, so.
no, I get that, but she's gonna come home and be like, "What the hell's all this stuff out on the floor?" And she's gonna put it in. What's this?
Yeah, I better.
If that
better
happens,
send a text
you
out.
better call me because we're getting a video of that because that is what will get us some subscribers. All right, we gotta wrap this thing up. So the positive quote of the day. Let's see if Steve can approve of this one.
Hang on a second before you read that.
Okay.
Just do an experiment. If y'all watch YouTube regularly, talk about something that you don't normally talk or care about.
Tim and Steve show.
No, because then you can. It'll pop up on your feed probably. But talk about something that is just off the wall that you have no desire really to learn or listen about, and see over the next 24 hours if you start getting YouTube feeds based on that weird, like just pick a word or a category of something. Like if you don't have a cat, like talk about cat food and see if, no, but don't use cat food because if you're listening to this, then it'll obviously come up anyway.
Find your own little thing.
Find your own little thing and just try it out as an experiment. I might be crazy and it might not work, but I'm telling you, ball bearings was just the first incident that I noticed this.
Okay, and so then you can email Tim and Steve Show NH@gmail and address it to Steve, and you can let him know what you think.
I find this stuff interesting. This isn't like an end of the world type thing.
Well, this is why I got the story, and I said you can do this story because this is totally up your alley. First thing I saw that,
I
and I
can
thought of you.
delve
I'm
into
like,
this.
whoa.
Like I'm going to research it even more. I'm going to look up
Yeah.
this Lamone character and see if they're believable.
So the story that you read was different than the story that I read. Like I said, I found it someplace, and then I get a lot of stuff from the Blaze. It is a conservative site. However, I take the information because I trust it, and then I read in further. Because if many times on the show it's been like, here's the headline, but then let me tell you the information and it's in the story because I don't care about headlines. I care about the
Usually
the
the
story.
headline will say something,
Yes.
and then the last paragraph
Right.
will discredit 90% of what the headline
Right. Or it'll be like, X amount of Democrats think this, but then when you're reading the story, it's like, yeah, okay, but only 10% less than that of Republicans. And so obviously we make sure we mention it
Yeah.
because that's not, I'm not here to,
we're usually.
I don't care about that. I just want to, so.
We're usually middle of the road. Anyway, I apologize. I just wanted to throw that experiment out there for y'all to try because
Yeah,
I
no,
find it
that's cool.
interesting to see.
No, it's happened to me before, like with Facebook feed and stuff. I can't remember if I was looking up mitts, like baseball mitts, but I think I was just talking about like baseball mitts or bats or something with Emilio, and then it's in my feed, and I'm like, wait, I didn't type in. There was something that happened to me once that I didn't type in.
My brother
anywhere.
and I, and you remember
Yep.
we were talking. I talked about it with Devin about building stairs
Yep.
to
Yep.
get
Yep.
down his backyard. Well, within 24 hours of that, I had 6 different videos of how to build outside stairs.
Yeah. That's true. All right.
Anyway, it's just interesting, just to be aware that they are listening. I think they admit now that if you don't turn off something, then your microphone's. Amazon's always listened to you. So if you have Alexa in your house, Amazon knows more about you than your family probably knows about you, based off of your conversations and then extrapolating.
And
compared
to use
others.
their products, you did agree
Right.
to let them listen to all your stuff. even though it was in the 12-page disclaimer that you just checked yes, and I'm guilty of that. I don't read anything.
Well, remember when John Paul was here, we were driving by the road that you live on, and I was like, oh, there's where Tim lives down there. And then John Paul he was like, oh, is Tim as cool as me? You know, he's like childish acting type stuff. Anyway, 10 minutes later, while we're driving, it starts playing over the loudspeaker in the Acura. The conversation that we had and about your road being right there and like exactly what we said. It was the craziest thing ever. And
Are you sure John Paul's real? He's not a robot.
John Paul's real.
Okay.
I've known him since we were 12,
Maybe it was just a baby robot.
11.
He's growing.
Okay, Robin Williams. I'm not watching that movie.
Because of John Paul is why I got that moose on the desk.
No, I mean, look at you should put this up before you put the meme of the day up, just so everybody who doesn't know what we're talking. What's the movie called? Robot?
I don't remember.
Or are you talking about the cartoon Robots with?
No.
Or are you talking about one where he's
Ron
like,
Williams, he's like, he gets feelings and, yeah, right there.
look at that. I mean, come on.
Bicentennial.
I told
man.
you. Oh yeah, bicentennial man. Look at that lens flare going. That's
Crazy. That's back in
J.J.
'99
Abrams.
too. But anyways, quote of the day. The moment you're ready to quit is usually the moment right before the miracle happens. Don't give up. Are you happy? Is that quote okay for
That's
you?
a good quote.
All right. He's happy
But
with
that's
that quote.
true. I find that's true.
It's very true.
It's you feel disheartened and then you keep going.
Yeah, you're just about to give up usually, then it'll
and
happen.
then you're like, oh my gosh.
That's why when you're about to give up, you got to just go that little bit more because it's usually when it happens.
Yeah, it's like math. All of a sudden it'll click.
Like Edison invented the light bulb, allegedly, and he did like 1,000. It was like 1,000 times he did it wrong, and then he got it right. So you keep trying and trying and trying.
He should have just asked Tesla.
That's
Tesla
true.
did it in like 10 hours.
That's true. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the Tim and Steve show. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, shooting league. I'm excited. We have to make up for last week, so
Hopefully they'll let us.
yeah. If not, we'll whatever.
I mean, we're not going to win it. Unless we throw out some perfect scores.
Yeah, from now until next year, maybe. We're so far behind now. There's no chance.
You saw a Chiefs note. Make sure you clean your pistol.
Yeah,
Give it a good oil.
that
Clean
ain't
out the bore a little bit.
gonna make me shoot better. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.